French Polynesia's 118 islands are spread across 1.5 million square miles of the South Pacific. The territory is about the same size as the continent of Europe. The three main islands, Tahiti, Moorea, and Bora Bora, offer blissful scenery as well as every imaginable accommodation, ranging from homestays and $70 a night B&Bs to indulgent 4- and 5-star resorts. There's no home delivery mail in most of Tahiti, but nearly every house will have a little box out by the road. It's for the daily delivery of fresh baguettes from the baker. There are no poisonous snakes in Tahiti, and Tahitians are extraordinarily friendly and yet shy people. Visitors are advised to break the ice with a first smile and a hello. More than 50% of the population is under 20. Even though I visited French Polynesia years ago, I now feel like I've rediscovered paradise, and I've come away with a renewed esteem for this unspoiled haven in the midst of the South Pacific. There remains the sense that the Isles exist for the islanders, and visitors are welcome to visit, but the Tahitian culture has not been destroyed by tourism. Tahiti receives as many visitors in an entire year as the Hawaiian Islands do in 1 week. And the Las Vegas MGM Grand contains twice as many hotel rooms as all of French Polynesia. Even though Tahiti is in the southern hemisphere, it really doesn't take that long to get there. The non-stop Air Tahiti Nui flight from LAX to Papeete is only 8 hours, and 12 hours from JFK in New York City. The island of Tahiti Nui is affectionately known as the Queen of the Pacific. Papeete, the capital city of French Polynesia, is located on the island of Tahiti. It's the gateway to the outer islands. Papeete is a vibrant entrepot with a container port, ferry terminal, cruise liner berths, and ever-shuttling inter-island packet freighters. Visitors generally spend only a single night in Papeete before departing for the more insular isles, and that's primarily because most flights arrive too late in the evening to push on. The first time I visited French Polynesia, I too stayed on the island for a very short overnight interlude before heading on to Bora Bora. This time I decided to spend a bit more time and explore the island of Tahiti, and I'm glad I did, as I discovered that the isle is just as enchanting in its own distinctive way as the other outer isles. If you ever have the opportunity to visit French Polynesia, I highly recommend spending at least 2 days on Tahiti, as the isle abounds with an abundance of fascinating things to do and see. There are tranquilizing streams, lava tubes, spooky caves, rugged velvet green volcanic peaks that are over 7,000 feet above sea level, raging waterfalls and belching blowholes. The island also offers engaging museum, a huge craft market in the heart of Papeete. It's packed with locally produced goods and produce, and there's also a world-class surf spot known for its mammoth crystalline blue tubular waves, and it's the site of an annual international surf contest. Saturday night at a pierside park in the heart of Papeete is where local families come to socialize, and vendors serve French, Tahitian, and Chinese specialties from mobile kitchens. Around sunset, trucks and vans known as roulettes motor down to dockside. Doors and hatches swing open, portable neon signs are lit, burners and ovens are fired up, and woks are set in place, and dinner is served. French Polynesia is known for its pricey dining, but Papeete's Saturday night locals' waterfront alfresco picnic table dining experience is a best-kept secret and a memorable South Pacific adventure. And a heaping platter can be purchased for less than $7 or $8. And this is a true family and community affair where everyone from teenage lovers to mamas and papas and their children come to socialize, to play and frolic and dine under the stars. It's Saturday night in Papeete, and I'm your host, travel correspondent Tom Wilmer. Please join us on the waterfront, where we visit with Vincent Durant. This really is, in a sense, even though it's the biggest population base, it's a hidden gem of Tahiti. Tell us about some of the things to do on this island of Tahiti.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Usually people think that Tahiti is just kind of a stopover for one night. We don't agree. We think that Tahiti needs a little bit more. Tahiti needs at least 2-3 nights. This island, the biggest island on French Melanesia, it's a total of 100 miles, which is the circle of the island. We've got beautiful waterfalls. We've got local Tahitian market, which is absolutely amazing, with the famous Black Pearl market. We've got the Black Pearl Museum, the Tahiti Museum, the Paul Gauguin, of course. And if we go further down to the south, you have the beautiful gardens and what we call the presqu'île, which is typically it's really where the culture is. That's where you can find the real people, where you can find the real Tahitian, the Tahitian family, the Tahitian village, and what they call the brang, which is kind of entertainment they do on Friday and that lasts until the end of Sundays. But this is really the island for greens, and the interior, I mean the hillside of the island is really great, and it's more about history, it's more about culture, and this is the place to stay.
So you'd recommend 2-3 days here?
Yeah, that's exactly what I would recommend. I would say one day to experience the city of Papeete and go to the market, go to the roulotte, which is the typical restaurants, and another day to circle the island, and maybe a third day to go further down to the really south of the island of Tahiti, and which is great, and where you can see the real life and the real Tahitian culture.
I need to have you step back to the beginning and tell us a little bit more about where we are on Saturday night in Papeete. This is just the most heartwarming scene in any town in the world.
This is really the typical Saturday night in Papeete. We call them the roulotte, and they're basically some small restaurants, and they're serving out of vans, like kind of little trucks. And they're coming by 6 o'clock at night. They're setting up the whole place. During the day, there's nothing. It's just like a playground. And then by 6 o'clock, it gets completely packed. And we've got at least, I think it's about 15 to 20 different roulottes. It's a local Tahitian food. So that can be the Chinese influence. That can be more the French influence. So we've got maybe 5 or 6 different cuisines that are all together here, and people come with a family of friends, and if everybody comes to the roulotte and spend a little time there, is the real life for a Saturday night. It's really the local touch for a Saturday night. Definitely.
And I understand for somebody on a budget that this is a great dollar value. You can get a killer dinner for a reasonable price here.
Yeah, absolutely. You might be double in a regular typical restaurant here. Roulotte are really inexpensive. That's the genuine food coming from China. That's the genuine food coming from Tahiti. They're here, and it's usually when you can see like 5 people working in a roulotte, there maybe 80% of the staff is belonging to the same family. So it's a family thing, and it's a great value for money. Absolutely, very fresh food, and they've got a great selection. So that's another way of discovering Tahiti.
Vincent Garant with the Sheraton Tahiti Hotel. It has been an absolute pleasure to visit with you here in downtown Papeete on a warm and beautiful Saturday night. I don't want to go home.
Thank you very much, and you're very welcome to come back.
I will. This is your host, Tom Wilmer, reporting from Papeete, Tahiti, for KCBX Public Radio, National Public Radio affiliate, serving San Luis Obispo, and KSBX, serving Santa Barbara. For further information about Tahiti, visit Tahiti Tourism at www.tahiti-tourism.com. Tourism is spelled Tourisme.